Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Saturday. It's Ernest Sears Jr., author of Detox Your Circle, Activate Your Destiny, coming to you with episode 31. And today I am going to be chatting with you about some things that I have recently learned over the past couple of days. And I try to share with you things that have to do with my personal experience, things that I've gone through myself, knowing that if you listen to me, there's probably something you can extricate from that could be applied to your own life. So that's why I come on here every week, just in obedience to spirit and for my own growth, my own development, and hopefully it's something that will spill over into your life. Well, how's it going there, Ryan Winkle? And what's up, Chris? Good to see you, man. All right, so today's numerology digit is 7, and as many of you know, 7 is associated with the crown chakra, the 7th chakra, which is known as the gateway to infinite intelligence. It is associated with the color violet. It is associated with a person maybe that is reclusive, that is kind of like a monk, but someone who's excellent at problem solving. And also someone who is motivated to solve hidden mysteries. It's a highly analytical number, and it's really one of those numbers that I really appreciate in my life. I have several 7s in my life that I benefit from. Good to have them. So today I want to talk about something that has been in my spirit for a couple of days. I've had some very interesting conversations with very close friends of mine. I've had some events that have happened in my life that have caused me to want to chat about what are the types of things that people could know that would let them know that they're vibrating higher, that could give them a sense that they are now on a higher frequency, operating on a higher frequency. So I've been thinking about the things that can happen in your life, or the things that you can notice that might make you think, I think I'm moving at that next level, or I'm at a higher frequency, or I'm vibrating higher. And so I put together a couple of thoughts, and knowing myself, I'm going to do some riffs on it. I'm probably going to go off, lose my notes a little bit. So basically, some of those tips would be that you no longer feel this urgent need to defend yourself. If someone says something, you realize that, wow, this would have really triggered me before. This would have caused me to really have that urgent need to defend myself, that survival mode would kick in and I would have to say something. I would have to defend myself. But now I am no longer driven to defend myself. Like someone can say something or do something, and I feel like I feel safe. So if you have the sense that now you are bigger, and now you are in a space where you have more sovereignty because you understand yourself and you understand your power, and you're realizing that you no longer need to defend yourself or come up with an explanation to someone about anything, that is an indication that you're vibrating higher. That's an indication that you are at a higher frequency. The idea is that you're so big now, in terms of your certainty and in your belief in yourself and your connection to Source and God, that you feel safe. You're so big compared to whatever this thing that used to trigger you, is that you feel safe now. So you feel safe to feel whatever it is you need to feel. Whatever it is that this thing that they're saying normally would have caused you to trigger and to have to defend yourself. Now you just can sit back and maybe respond appropriately, if at all. Because you feel safe to feel, and as a result of feeling safe to feel, safe to heal. So it's a sense of security in yourself that you no longer have to come to your own rescue. Like what I'm going to say to defend myself, to protect myself. No, you don't have any of that. or at least it's reduced significantly. So yeah, that's that'll happen. You no longer have this sense, this urgency to defend yourself. The next thing is that you can see how things are going to unfold in advance. Like whether it's decisions you have to make, whether it's something that's coming up in your life, you now have the ability to kind of see how that thing is going to unfold, the trajectory, the arc of how it's going to unfold. You begin to see these things in advance so that the decisions you make are going to be a little bit more sound, because they're not just based on logic. They're based on a congruence between your heart and mind and your connection to spirit, one ostensibly that you're connecting to on a daily basis, whether it be through prayer, whether it be through meditation, reflection, whatever your ritual is on a daily basis, that brings you closer and closer to a connection, a divine connection, so that when you need to make a decision, it's like you are being guided, so that the decisions you make are not solely based on logic, not solely based on your mental ability, but it's something much bigger and much broader and much bigger than you. So that's another thing that I notice. What's up, Gina Cherie? What's up, girl? All right. And the other thing I notice is that everything slows down. The higher you vibrate, the more your frequency increases, your external world, the ambient reality slows down. It's like you're in the Matrix, okay? Like you're Neo and those bullets are coming, but for whatever reason, you're not like, oh my God, what? It's like you see them coming and you're like, oh, okay. And you kind of just dodge them, taking your time, and another one comes, oh, okay. That's interesting. You know, it's a completely different reality because your vibration, your frequency is so high that everything else is slower. And so you can see things before they happen. You have an idea of what's going to happen next. And your ability to respond based on your divine connection, based on your heart and mind congruence and them working together, there is a synergistic strength and force that you have that is 1,000 times stronger than just the mind alone. When you have the heart and mind working together and they're connected to source, connected to God, connected to spirit, then your responses are like divinely inspired. The words that come out are filled with wisdom. There are things that you say and do that you didn't even know you were going to say. You didn't even know you had it in you, because it's not just you. You have surrendered yourself to something higher. You are vibrating at a higher frequency that is divinely attuned. So everything else around you slows down. Okay? That's what I've noticed. And so I'm no longer, and I was discussing this with a really close friend of mine, I'm no longer worried about missing out. I'm no longer worried that, well, if I don't hurry up and get here, you know, I'm going to miss out on fun, or you know, if I don't get there on time, then, you know, I might not have as much fun as everybody else. No, your life is moving along at the appropriate pace for your growth and your development. And so you don't have to rush. Whatever is yours is earmarked for you, and you are going to get it. It's going to wait for you. All of the, the conspiring components, the cooperating components for your destiny and your alignment are coming together for you in a way that are just for you. And there is nothing you can do to miss it. As long as you realize that you are connected, and as long as you realize that everything is working out for you. Okay? Very, very, very important. The other thing I noticed is that my ears ring. Sometimes I have these periods of time where my ears are ringing, and I used to be alarmed by that. I'm like, do I have tinnitus or something? Tinnitus? What is going on? Well, those are like downloads. Those are like insights that are being downloaded to you that you are processing, that you are going to integrate into your life, and it's going to allow you to operate at a higher level. And so when I'm noticing that now, I just sit myself down somewhere and I relax and I let that happen. The more conscious you are and the more aware you are that something greater is being experienced, something that transcends this world, this visual world. When you are aware at all times that there's something greater that's happening, then you bring that to you. And so these divine insights are coming to you, and that ringing in your ears is that download. And I had one this morning. I was like, okay, this is kind of strong. I just sat down and let it happen. You also have a sense of being in suspended animation. Like, so for those of you who meditate, especially with your eyes open, you get to the point where you can actually do it with your eyes open, and you have that sense that you're just connected to everything and that you're part of everything. That is going to happen more frequently, even as you're walking around, even as you're driving, even as you're going throughout your day. You're going to have a sense of just being in suspension because you're realizing that you're connected to everything, that there are invisible connections that come from your body, your aura, that connect to everything, that give you a sense of certitude and understanding about things that don't necessarily make logical sense, but you know they're true. So that happens. I've also noticed that things basically go as you expect them to go. So as you begin to visualize your life and you visualize how you want things to go, things generally have a tendency to go exactly the way that you expect. And when they don't, you no longer experience fear or anxiety, like, oh my God, it's not going the way I wanted to. This is now an opportunity to test what you've learned. It's an opportunity to test your faith and your belief in your connection. And you no longer have that anxiety, when things don't go as expected, especially since now more and more things do go as expected. The next thing is that there is more of a sense of presence. When I say that, it's more of a sense of this is now. Everything is now. It's not about the past. It's not about the future. It's not about worrying about what I could have done. It's not about worrying about what happened last week or last month. How that thing I did is going to affect the future. And it's not even about, if this thing is going to work out that I'm trying to do. You don't have that anxiety. Now it's more about just being present. So there's more, you walk around with a sense of presence, with a sense of now, with a sense of gratitude for what's going on right now, as opposed to, 1 foot in the past and 1 foot in the future. It's just now. And you realize that, now is all there ever was. Now is all there ever is. There is no such thing as the past. There's no such thing as the future. It's all actually just now. And so, meditate on that. You'll get it. So you get more and more of a sense of now, and more gratitude as a result of that. Okay. The other thing is that I find that I have more compassion for people, and I have less judgment. So if you're vibrating higher, and there's a comparison between who you are today and who you used to be maybe yesterday or last year, part of it is going to be you have more compassion now for people. You really just have compassion, and you're not judging them as much, because you realize in your newfound humility that but for grace, there go I. Like, that could have been me, or that situation could be me too, under different circumstances, that we're really all the same. The only difference is that we make different choices because we had different starting points. We were dealt different cards with different family configurations that have fueled and caused us to make the kind of decisions we make, right? But definitely I find out I have more compassion, I have less judgment. The other thing is that I definitely have a sense of beginnings and completions of cycles. Like, as someone who is vibrating higher, it's like I'm noticing that, okay, I just finished a cycle. What did I learn? Like, I'm always making a note of what I learned. I journal so I can keep track of my development. And one of the things that helps me do that is just being on this live once a week. I'm actually, memorializing my lessons, and I'm sharing it with the world. It's like, it may You may think it's something that I'm doing just to benefit everybody, but it really helps me. So first it helps me, and then it may help you. If you're looking for something that is helpful, you'll find it. But otherwise, this is something that I'm doing for me out of obedience, and it's really helping me grow. So when you vibrate higher and you're at a higher frequency, you're realizing that you're learning lessons, and you take the time to make a note of those so that you can process those and integrate those into your life. Okay? And another thing, and this may be the last thing, is that you realize that as you focus more on your internal growth and your inner growth, and understanding that you're more accountable than you used to be, or you're more responsible than you thought you were for your life and the things that unfold for you, it's really kind of up to you to co-create your life with spirit. Like, you are making things happen consciously and unconsciously. Once you begin to consistently realize and have that awareness that your inner life is what really is true, and what's generating what you see is because what you see is what's projected out of your heart, and projected out of your beliefs, and projected out of what's going on inside you. Like, if there are inner conflicts inside you, those inner conflicts are going to play out in your reality, and it's energy. Those conflicts can happen between two people, between you and somebody, between you and an organization, but the conflicts that you have not resolved on the inside, they will play out in your life. So once you realize that your inner reality is the true reality, then life becomes more of a school. You realize that it's like a video game. It's like there are these energies that are at play that you're interacting with, and there are decisions that you're making. And as you make those decisions consciously and, in a way that's divinely inspired, once you make those decisions, then you move to the next level, and then a next set of decisions come that you have to make. And as you make those decisions, you are showing God, the universe, what you want to happen in your life. And so imagine you in a video game, and life is really, Earth is like a school. It's like a video game. It's like the Matrix. Okay, so we are definitely in a matrix, and some of us are awakening to the fact that this is a place that we're learning lessons about our own selves, about universal laws, about the patterns of our lives, and taking a step back objectively to understand what those patterns are, and how those patterns that were developed in our formative years are playing out even today, to the extent that we are able to notice them. And oftentimes we can awake from some of this karma by healing some of those patterns and seeing those trends. So you begin to see life as a video game, and begin to realize that you're in a matrix, and that you are always given opportunities to learn. Everything that's happening to you is a gift to give you an opportunity to learn something about yourself, to learn a universal law that's going to allow you to move to the next level. Okay? And another example I want to give before I close, because I'm not going to be before you very long, and I like to give this particular example. Your frequency, okay? You want to continue to grow and develop, be humble, and understand that we're all in this together, and that we're all learning, and everybody's going through something. Okay? Imagine that someone has to get their piano tuned. Okay? I've had to do it many times. The piano tuner comes in. This is how they do it. They have a tuning fork. And a tuning fork is this metal instrument. It looks like a fork. And it is tuned to the key of A at 440 hertz. Used to be 432 hertz, but they changed it. So what they do is they flip that fork, and you go, you hear the key of A. And when they go down to the string on your piano, they go into the piano, and they're looking at the strings. And in order for them to tune it so that it's no longer flat, right? They go to the A string, all right? And they flick that fork, and as they move that fork closer to that A string, it begins to vibrate at the same sound and frequency of this tuning fork. Please follow me. This is very important. So the tuning fork is programmed for A, and it is just right. Your piano string needs to be tuned. It's flat. So this higher frequency, as it gets closer and closer in proximity to that lower frequency, guess what the piano string is going to do? It's going to vibrate up to the frequency of this tuning fork. And when it vibrates up and there's tuned at the same note, the piano tuner then tightens up that string and makes sure that it stays at that same level of the tuning fork. And then from there, he tunes the rest of the piano. So you are a tuning fork no matter where you go. If you consistently are growing, what's up, Land 909? If you are consistently growing and you are consistently cultivating and developing yourself, then you are vibrating higher and higher. And as you do that, you will train your environment to tune to you, okay? If you are the highest frequency in your environment, I don't care if it's a person, I don't care if it's a bird, I don't care if it's a plant, I don't care if it's a cup of water, you will tune those energies to come up to your level. Are you following me? So your whole world is tuning into you, and you have the power to co-create your world with God, with Spirit, by constantly cultivating your frequency, constantly moving it up higher. And as you do that, you bring the whole world with you. You are bringing the world up to a higher frequency little by little every day, just by tuning your own frequency. Are you following me? So you meditate every day and you're connected to Source every day, and you make sure it's a ritual that you engage in, that you are meditating, you're praying, you're reflecting, whatever it takes to make sure that that connection you have with God is strong. What happens is that you begin to vibrate higher, and everything around you, you are the tuning fork for. So everything around you begins to vibrate higher too. Here's a good example. You're having a conversation with someone who is not necessarily vibrating at your level. They're not a bad person. They're a beautiful person. We're all beautiful. We're all made in the eyes of God. We're all divinely made. But let's say you're vibrating higher. That person does not agree with you. You are acting in love. You are operating in the frequency of love, and your words are wise and they're loving. And that person decides they just want to win the argument, and they're rejecting what you say. Believe it or not, they may act like they are not being attuned to you. They may act like they're rejecting you, and it could very well be unconscious, but they are adjusting to a new level of frequency when they walk away from you, whether they like it or not. They've been retuned. So remember that you have the power to change the entire world by cultivating your own frequency, by connecting to God, connecting to Source in your meditation, by making sure that you are consistently growing every day and getting better and improving, okay? And as you do that, when you go out into the world, you are bringing the world to a higher level. And as we all do this, we light workers, we who are awakened, we who are looking to make the world a better place, we who believe that the frequency of love is the strongest, the highest vibration, when a critical mass of us continues to do this, the whole world moves up to that next level, and the world keeps vibrating higher, and the frequency keeps getting higher and higher. Before you know it, the world is going to be a better place. There's no way to stop it. It's going to happen, and it starts with you. So if you're wondering whether or not you're vibrating at a higher frequency, if you're wondering whether or not that you are becoming more and more of the person that you're supposed to be, those are several tips that will help you to determine and discern whether or not you're vibrating higher. So that is what I had to cover today. If there's anybody who has any questions, or you want to come on and chat about that particular topic when it comes to noticing whether or not you're vibrating higher and noticing how those interactions are happening between yourself in others, and maybe comparing yourself to the way, comparing how you are right now to how you used to be. I would love to have those conversations. Or if you have a question, feel free to post it right now in the comments. Or if you'd like to come on and talk, let me know. But that is a topic I think that would be so helpful for people today who are really trying to be the best selves they can be, to be better than they've ever been, and not really comparing themselves to anybody, just comparing who they are now to who they were yesterday. And that's certainly what I do. But those are definitely some ways that you can discern whether or not you are vibrating higher. Because the target of this game, the target is actually to understand that you are sovereign, that you are responsible for creating your life, and understand that to move to the next level, to get to that checkpoint, you must understand that it is your responsibility not to leak your power, not to give your power away, okay? But to be someone who is no longer concerned with external approval, external affirmation, because you get yours from your divine connection with Source, with God, okay? So anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. I wasn't before you very long, but I did have that quick message I wanted to leave. And so I think I'm going to call this one, Welcome to the Matrix. Take care, everybody. You have a great Saturday. Bye-bye.